Our film opening follows the codes and conventions of many of the film openings I looked at, in that it starts by showing the company logos and film title. It also has the start of the background music fading in, which acts as a narrative cue because it creates a mysterious, unsettling feeling which links to the main themes of the film. An example of a film I looked at as a style model for the opening titles was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. This begins by showing the Warner Bros. Logo and then revealing the setting. There is a few seconds of footage before the main title is then revealed. We wanted to do something similar with ours, where the titles are broken up by short sections of footage. Once the logos fade out in our film opening, the wooded location is then shown in a long shot to establish a setting. The camera then pans around to show the main character walking slowly along looking frightened and lost. At the same time, the names of the producers and actors fade in and out in the empty space. We got the idea for this by looking at a section of the film Donnie Darko, which begins in a similar way with a pan of the location. This film opening also has a similar atmosphere of mystery which we were trying to achieve in ours, and has a similar sound effects of the ambient outdoors, which begins before the location is actually revealed, so that the viewer has a setting in mind before it is shown. We chose the wooded location as it is an iconic sign and is generally associated with fear and the unknown. We also wanted to emphasise the idea of being alone with no one around and the possibility of getting lost. The natural dappled lighting also creates a chiaroscuro effect, which links to the idea of good and bad and the feeling of mystery. The lighting here is also effective as it gives the main character a washed-out pale appearance, which creates a dreamlike mood. We then have the sequence where our protagonist Erica meets the secondary character Bruce. We chose to have both of them wearing normal clothes for teenagers to represent their youth and the idea that they are normal people involved in something out of the ordinary. We also chose to have Erica mostly dressed in white because it is a colour that is associated with innocence and purity, to present her as a good character. The narrative and non-verbal communication between the two characters is important at this point, because it presents Erica as the victim by appearing frightened and helpless, while Bruce is shown as a hostile, threatening person. This links to Claude Levi-Strauss's theory of binary opposites, as the main themes of the narrative at this point are based around two opposite characters presented as good and bad. The characters also fit in with Vladimir Prop's theory of character, as they fit into the stock characters of villain and hero or victim. This part also introduces the key themes through the dialogue and gives hints about the storyline. We looked at a number of film openings for style models for this sequence, which present a confrontation between two people. For example, we looked at a scene from The Unloved, which shows a dispute between a man and his daughter. He is presented through his threatening behaviour and non-verbal communication as a bad, aggressive character, while the girl is shown as the victim because she is small and scared-looking, which also creates sympathy for her with the audience. In this conflict, the argument starts fairly calm and gets progressively aggressive, which is something we wanted to try in our film opening. We also tried a variety of angles and shot sizes in this part of our film. For example, we used a two-shot when we needed to see both of the characters in the frame, and close-ups when we wanted to focus on their individual expressions. When the camera was on Bruce, we mostly used high angles to make him look threatening, and a low angle while it was on Erica to make her look vulnerable. We then have the part where Erica runs away, and the background music gets more dramatic, and there is the sound effect of a heart beating. This links to the idea of poetic codes, as it builds up tension and makes the viewer aware that something bad is going to happen. There is then an over-shoulder shot of Bruce grabbing Erica before the scene changes suddenly to show Erica sitting up in bed. This happens very suddenly, and there is a sound effect of a metallic impact as he grabs her, and the sound bridge of Erica's panic breathing which lingers from one scene to the next. This challenges Vatev and Totorov's theory, as our film doesn't start with equilibrium, there is action and issues for the characters from the start. However, the pace of our film opening slows down after this part, and the initial action was more to grasp the viewer's attention before the background of the story starts to be revealed. We have used tense music in this scene to represent the character's thoughts and feelings, because there is no verbal communication. However, her expressions and actions are used to show that she is scared. We also wanted to have more screen time with her to present her as the main character and make the audience like her more. We used a variety of angles and shot sizes in this part. For example, we used a close-up of her phone, which shows a message from Bruce, which suggests that her nightmare relates to her real life, and an over-shoulder shot to show her typing her response. What we don't see is what she actually replies, which creates questions for the audience. To begin with, the viewer won't fully understand what is happening in our film opening, and it contains a lot of Barth's enigma codes, which creates questions for the audience to think about. For example, why the main character was dreaming about being attacked and how this relates to her life, as well as what the confrontation was actually about.